Oh yeah, we are back. It is week 29, and we are going to be setting daily max records practically on every daily max this week. Not quite all of them, but for the most part, they're all records. And you just saw one right there on the pause bench with the 215. And in other news, we've moved up to 21 work reps on the main lifts for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Just cranking up that volume. Oh yeah. And one of the few downsides is that some of these squat maxes only last for, or I should say the PRs only last for like 3 days, because by the time I do them again later in the week, it's even heavier. Yeah, so as promised at the end of last week's video, the forecast was correct, and the heat wave definitely came through and was mega hot during Saturday, Sunday, Monday workouts. I do have to say, I think I turned the corner and made the adjustment to heat as opposed to the Arctic house, because I can tell you it really wasn't that bad, because I didn't perceive it as super bad, because I was just, I'm sweating, but it's not the end of the world because I'm drinking lots of water and eating lots of salt. And quite frankly, I think I had more trouble with the initial transition out of Arctic house, because I can remember the first time the house thermometer showed 60 degrees and I was lifting weights. I remember thinking, this is awful. Like, it was so hot and disgusting and blah, blah, blah. But once you make that transition, it's all good. And around here, basically, you can go with the same forecast every day in July and August. You don't really have to bother watching the weather report because you're pretty much always going to get hazy, hot, humid, high around 95, and a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon. What was different about these past 3 days is that the highs were actually up in the hundreds, so it was even worse than usual. It was like, wow. And then combining that with the humidity, I think the heat indexes were like in the 110 to 115 range, so it was like steam bath. But like I said, I didn't really have a lot of trouble with it. Just, like I said, water, salt, stay in front of a fan as much as possible, and you're actually okay. Yeah, all that being said though, because of the importance of sleep with recovery, I definitely decided this year to bring the nighttime temperature in the house down a little further than I used to, because in addition to the glasses and that grounding of myself that I do right before bed, it's good to have a cool environment, or at least relatively cool environment for sleep quality. So I set the thermostat at 80 and just bring the house down to that. And so far, I've been sleeping really well, as you probably noticed with the workouts. They've been going well, and that's basically a reflection of how well I've been sleeping. Oh, and on that note, I did notice in the past couple days that the days are starting to get shorter, mostly due to the sun coming up later, because it used to be like right around 5 o'clock, maybe 5:10, and now it's definitely 5:30 or slightly later that we're starting to see the sun come up. I think a lot of what I just said can actually be summarized as respect the heat. It's there. You take extra precautions to make sure it doesn't negatively affect you either during workouts or while sleeping. And that's just that. You know what else you gotta respect? Cats. Yeah, so that video made my week. I was like, why is that lady out of the car? I was like, when you get out of the car thinking you own the place, but there's tigers around, you don't own the place. The tigers own the place. And man, they will just rip your face right off. So, I don't think that's a good idea getting out of the car. So unlike that lady, I definitely respect the cats. And like last week, I had considered moving my cat picture from their normal perch on Wednesday to a different day. But I decided not to, because I was like, that might be a little disrespectful to the cats. You gotta be careful with that. And cats, whether they like you or not, are always considering how to kill you just in case they need to. So, besides the cat madness, on Tuesday we had a new daily max on the bench of 220. And we also had a new pause squat daily max record of 280, which is excellent, because that means 300 is right around the corner. And that is just awesome. Yeah, so just like with the bench press the last couple weeks. You may have noticed a little bit of foreshadowing as well going into this week, because I kept commenting on how my Wednesday squat daily maxes were just flying up. And I was like, it is hump day! And respect those cats. Because when you respect the cats, they respect you back. Or they just don't rip your face off, which is kind of the same thing. So here we have squat daily max 325, and that pretty much got murdered. I was like, you know what? It is definitely time for the super max on the squat. Oh, let's do this. So put on 350, see if we can pull this one off. And frankly, I was pretty confident that I could get this because, with just how fast both 325 had gone up and the prior 2 weeks, which I think were 320 and 315 on Wednesdays. And did a good job of getting that up with the crazy face. Oh yeah! I had also set up my old camera to get a lower shot to make sure I was getting deep enough, and check out that neck blood pressure. Wow, that is through the roof. But that was definitely plenty deep, and the reason I wanted to do that is, when the squats get really heavy, you do have a tendency to tip forward, and what will happen is as you're descending, if you're also tipping forward more, you'll sense the bar descending, but it won't actually be your hips getting lower. It's actually just the bar coming lower because you're actually pitching forward at the hips, which does not actually help your depth. Now here's a great example of what I'm talking about. With the front squat, because you're holding the bar in front of you, you have to keep your torso practically 100% upright. Otherwise, you'll dump the bar forward. And what happens then is that you can descend so deep that basically your hamstrings will touch your heels. So that is some depth. Yeah, so I think that's going to do it for this week, everybody. Be prepared next week for a brief physique update. I think it's about time to actually do one, so you can see why I think I'm putting on quality mass on my body instead of all blubber. So with that, we're going to end with mother, the Dodeca Mother. P.S. The Dodeca Mother thinks he earned himself a bit of a reward for this week and the previous 2 weeks of bench press gains.
Homer, I have to go out to pick up something for dinner.
Steak?
Money's too tight for steak.
Steak?
Sure, steak.
Oh, beast. And volume update for the week 29 as compared to last week, week 28. That's a big PR in total volume, 153, 315. Pushed everything up quite a bit. And the total for the year so far, almost 3.6 million pounds. Yeah. And the 2016 goals update. And we broke a PR, so we get a double exclamation point on break some PRs this year, because 350 squat was 12.5 pounds over 337.5, which was my previous 1 rep squat PR. So that is excellent. 10K chin-ups, we're at 6166. So we are into the 6,000s, working our way to 10K. And the metabolic update screen, we're basically bang on with the calories this week, and weight was up quite a bit. That's okay, because we're trying to get obese. That's excellent. We're holding this probably for the next month or so, so same calories for next week. And last but not least, we got the squat data screen to update, and once again we got that new PR on the squat of 350. Man, that's nice. So basically, for me, it's been an excellent week. We had lots of PRs. We had cat action. I mean, what more do you want in life? For me, not much. So you guys take care. Hope you had a great week. I sure did, and we'll see you next time.